We're all learning from other slots players. I know I am, and you are, if only from me now and through my published content. So be let's get even more deliberate about learning from other slots players. Have you ever gone to a casino and seen any other slots enthusiasts that appear to be winning? What a wonderful resource they are. But why? Because you can learn from them. What's your alternatives, though? Learning how to win at slots from scratch, of course. Plus, just do what you normally do at your home casino, but at a new to you casino instead. In today's show, I'll dig deeper into each of these approaches to succeeding at new to you casinos. But first, we have a few donations already. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Magpie for super chat. Thank you. The message is, hey, P.S. That's Professor Slots, but it's also, I think, my sort of like going on, P.S. No? Okay. Well, Paula, who is our moderator, thank you, Paula, for being our moderator again today, and community. That's you. So Magpie says they missed last week but caught the replay. Thank you for the donation. It helps keep everything running, and I appreciate it. But we also have Chuck, who is saying, howdy all, and Chuck is from Missouri and is a big fan of the show, and very much appreciate his many donations to the show, and support of Professor Slots and keeping me running. Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, make sure I'm caught up here. Good. So, how is everybody today? Has everybody had a good week? Last week, we talked about how so many casinos are showing wide swings in their return statistics. So 1 month we're winning and doing great, but the next month, not so much. I remember September is the end of the third quarter. I know we don't talk about finance as much as perhaps we should. I do that elsewhere. But the end of the third quarter means they have things that they need to do. Lois and Dave are just here to say hi. They're heading out. Safe travels, Lois and Dave. They're in Ontario, Canada, and family and friends. It's good. I was glad to be able to stop by. Thanks for letting me know. Right. So I really hope last week's live stream helped. Too often we think playing slots is entirely luck-based, but as you saw last week, casinos have financial targets that influence that luck. You'd learn all about how slot machines are controlled if you purchase my online course for slots enthusiasts with its $50 discount. 30 days to play slots. 30 days to play slots smarter and win. Here's the webpage for that. If you go to courses.professorslots.com, you'll see my one course at the moment. And if you click on that, you'll come to the actual page where I offer this $100 off discount for my online course. But if you took that course, you would understand how casinos control, what kind of control they have over slot machines and their monthly revenue, and kind of the fluctuations that might occur because of that control. It's not just about how to win, but also how to leave the casino with your winnings now that you suddenly are winning and need to escape with it from your casino. It's a challenge sometimes, particularly if you haven't won before. Suddenly you've got to figure out what to do now that you win, and you might not have a lot of practice. So I talk about next steps to getting better at playing slots, and I think that's been helpful. But even if it wasn't $100 off for a limited time only purchase price of $97, it'd still be a tremendous value to slots enthusiasts just like you. The hundreds of slots players who have already purchased it agree. So along with my course comes several bonuses, including one month's free to my new paid community, which is not even a month old yet. We've got many participants, and We've been having a great old time lately. During the first month, we've been having weekly Zoom meetings where it's not like this. It is, I'm on the camera and you can hear me, but also everybody who is there is also on the camera or not. They don't have to use their camera, and they can talk and I can talk and we can all have great discussions. So it's been great this last month, and it's great to be able to see and hear one another. It's a community. But like I said, plenty of members don't want to be on the camera or don't have a camera. And of course, we have to figure out how to connect with Zoom. Some of us haven't done that. So it's been fun, entertaining, useful. So today's topic for this live stream came from that community. It was inspired by that community, Slots Enthusiasts Growth Network. So if you go to, just to make sure you can see this, so this is the page, and it's at community.professorslots.com. If you purchase the course, you get 1 month free. So, don't go to community.professorslots.com if you are planning on purchasing the course, because in the course is a different link where you'll get 1 month free. So if you, the plan that's shown here in the green button would be for those who aren't in the course, and that option is available for you. So you don't have to make both purchases, but still get the support. If you're already a member, thank you for your engagement and support of me and the other members. You've been great. To purchase 30 days to play Slot Smarter and Win at its discounted price, the link to use is courses.professorslots.com, where you'll get that free month to Slots Enthusiasts Growth Network. And I'll put this away. So that course, in the course, is a special link. It's in the 4th lesson. Work through this course with me, which is what that lesson is called. It's the video before day 1. So it's in the introductory section. I guess I've kind of replaced that too soon. If I go to the course, there's plenty to see here on the landing page before you buy it. For instance, you can expand all these different sections of the course and see what each day topic is. But in the introduction, before we have our first day, in the section called the casino environment, a lot of which we're going to be talking about today. But if you see this, work through this course with me, the last one here in the introduction, that's where you'll find the link to join and get your 1 month free if you have purchased the course. Okay. And of course, you can go to community.professorslots.com here if you're not in the course and still want to have this support. Sometimes simply getting in the support, and maybe you would want to do that because maybe you've been following me from the beginning and have already heard everything I've ever said or written. Then I have, I have created that option to just straight up join my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network at community.professorslots.com. But no bonus of a free month for you, though. Sorry. Both 30 days to play Slot Smarter and Win and Slots Enthusiast Growth Networks have their links available in this video's description. And for those of you listening to episode 149 on Ohio slots in 2021, which is what this audio is going to, one use of it is going to be, those links are also available in the podcast app you're using to listen to me now. So let's check in with the live chat. Just briefly say hello. Right. So I know that Lois and Dave have already probably left. And I was glad that they were able to stop by. And thank you for the donations, Magpie and Chuck. Let's see, we have great. I see a question or two from Jan, also known as Texas Tootsie. Good week gambling in general. That's a good question for people who have gone this week. Now, I'm going tomorrow, so I don't have anything within the last week, and it would be for Ohio, although I'd rather not say where, otherwise a crowd might show up and then I can't gamble because I'm signing things or answering questions or giving tours or other things that I do, as you very well know, Jan, because I have visited you, and Chuck and Paula and others. So I don't have a report for you on the last week. And last weekend's live stream, we have to finish the month to get return statistics for that month. They don't do portions of a month. And of course, like Ohio, they don't post it by the middle of the next month. They post it like 4 months later. So we don't have live data from the state. It takes a while to process all that at the minimum. And so we had somebody suggest in the Slots Enthusiast Growth Network that maybe it's possible. Was it that, or no? It was a YouTube comment. Is it possible to see what it was like last year and to anticipate how it would be now? Normally, yes, but last year was crazy and this year's crazy. I know it's I wouldn't want it to take like 3 years ago as the baseline for what's happening now. It's a little, it's unprecedented. Now, this is also why I have Facebook groups, and you can ask there, how are things going? You kind of get everybody's opinion, and they might reply with a cat video or whatever, but it's hard to take a poll. Also, it may not apply. I know you are in Texas, but you gamble in Louisiana. So how are those casinos going? And that is a great question I can't answer this time. The other time when I was walking through the 3 of those casinos with you, I could. Right. Let's see. And Jan also says no gambling for me for a while. I can understand that. I know you told me why. it's unique, and I appreciate that. So Magpie, haven't played this week. Had to work, plan on some slots to play next week in Vegas. And tomorrow is my attempt to get back to really do for the first time to get back to casino reviews, but adding a video. It won't be live, but it'll be from there, not of me playing slots, because a lot of casinos near me don't have anything like the permission to record, or much less have contracts. So that's not available. So I am going to, I'm not sure which one you were saying that you wanted to ask about. I'm going to drop a link into the live chat, which is the link. It's also currently right now in the video description. When you click on it, be aware that it could very well take you out of the live chat, and you might have a difficult time finding your way back. So be very cautious using this. And let's see, did it work or did it freeze up? See if I can do that for you, Debbie. I don't know why that's not working. Courses.professorslots.com. Be careful of the join button. That's actually to something else. Okay, so and Wes says the state Facebook groups are awesome for sharing info and experiences. The reason why I started a paid community that I was talking about was because sometimes, when you have 13,000 members, you get a lot of comments. And so that's something to, and some of them are, I mean, they're just all over the place. And also some people don't like Facebook, and which I can appreciate. So I wanted to make a community where we could be a little safer and a little bit more tighter of a community. But yes, that the whole point of my having Facebook groups was primarily because I can't, if I went to 2 casinos a week, it would take me 10 years to get through all 1,000 casinos in the United States, about half tribal and half commercial. And I can't do that. But you can go to these sites and you can talk to somebody who was there last night, or I think Dave and Lois didn't say they were on their way to a casino, but I've had people in the live chat say, well, I arrived, I got to go. So that's how close, how near you might find a local, people going to your local casino, and that's how fresh the data can be. And let's see, we have have someone who's commenting, one of those weeks where everyone around me is hitting bonuses but me. I'm sorry to hear that. It can be very frustrating. We'll talk about a little bit about what to do with that today. If you consider it an opportunity, and it's a wonderful resource to have that in front of you. So there's things to watch for, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Jill? Thank you, Jill, for your donation. I very much appreciate it. I don't see a comment, but thank you so much. And we have another question. I think we're getting close to the end of the question, so I'll get back to our content. But Magpie says, I know your thoughts about new casinos, but what about your thoughts on MGM selling off in early August? Which one? Las Vegas, right? Do you think they'll pull back returns? So how this works is a casino wants to sell themselves, and they will make themselves look good. And one of the ways that they can look good is having all kinds of people come to their casino. And how do you get that to happen? How do you build that reputation, that intangible benefit that they want to show to potential buyers and saying, look how happy people are? Well, you lower the odds and everybody's winning. Now it costs, but does it cost more than it would be the higher price point of the sale? Usually the higher price point of the sale is much more profit than the losses of promoting people, as long as it doesn't go on for like too long. Buying a casino takes time. Now, Magpie said MGM, I think she means Las Vegas, selling off in early August. I don't think so. I mean, maybe you have there's people scrutinizing Las Vegas, but do you mean it's already sold and they're changing the signs 6 months later? Does a W2G still have MGM as the owner? Because normally we don't hear about these things until after it's all done, but usually before the signs go up. And that's been my experience twice now at the Cincinnati casinos, where the purchase was negotiated quietly, secretly, everything was set up, and only then, once everything was settled, was it publicly announced, because that's how businesses work. So I wonder if it is actually what's happening in early August. Oh, early August. So that's over. So they sold. Sorry, past tense. They sold in early August. Well, I'm afraid it's a bit late. Before early August would have been a great time to go there, because they were prepping everybody to be fantastic patrons to raise their sale price, and now there's no point in doing that. And if it actually has been sold, the people who purchased it have spent a lot of money, and they would like to get some of that back. I've seen it time and again. And so not good news. Sorry. Let's see. I think I answered that question. MGM Resorts International and MGM Growth Properties in VICI in a deal worth more than so are you talking all MGM? properties. That's a little bit different. It's like Caesars selling themselves to El Dorado, and El Dorado deciding to keep the Caesars name. That was, what, a year and a half ago? A little bit more. It was before the pandemic, and that's interesting. Yeah. Jill says, do they still have to meet the payout percentage? If we're talking about Nevada, the legal limit isn't approached. I mean, one of the things they can do is reduce how much free slot play they give out. That's nothing to do with the payout limit. They can payout limit is in Nevada is 75%. 85 in Ohio, 85 and 100% in Pennsylvania, which has a maximum. And those usually aren't approached, particularly Nevada's 75%. That's just so low. Casinos can't afford to drop that low because players would revolt, get up in arms. But their average is usually around 93%. So you can see 75% is just like, wow, it's just a big drop. Somewhere around some of the table games. You do know that slots has better odds than most table games. There's like one that does better sometimes, Baccarat. All the others, on average, have 10% to 20% to 30% worse odds on average than slots. It's all there in the New Jersey reports, return statistics reports. But that's more like what we were talking about last week and Nevada's reports. But yes, so I have a cat behind me now. Okay, so let's get back to today's topic. That was excellent. Rather, in other news, Isaac is better. He had eaten a blossom, and was very sick, but then just snapped back. So everybody who might have heard about that in some of the other places I post things, he's fine. Now, my website was down for 17 hours earlier this week. I was checking on a minor issue with my host, a big company, and they did some things and it went down. And I'm sure that I'll recover in Google Analytics in 6 months or so. It's all fixed now. I already mentioned there's the cat. That's Hedy, Hedy, named after the inventor of Wi-Fi, or one of them. I'm also on TikTok now. I have been for 18 days. The first 5 days, not much happened, but after the first week, in the last 11 days, I've had not quite 200,000 views and 800 followers. I don't know. Is that good? I honestly don't know. So I'm looking up some of the numbers, and in a year and a half, I'm sure I'll get all that sorted out. But these are the things that I'm working on, and of course the trip tomorrow. But let's get back to the show. So let's say you've read, watched, and listened to all my free content, and perhaps even taken my online course, Play Slots, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. Now you want to go to a new to you casino and win at playing slot machines. Now, it may be your local casino you haven't been to before. You may be traveling. We'll talk about that. So under this scenario, going to a new to you casino, there are only 3 possible approaches. And now I am, there it is. 3 possible approaches. You can forget everything you know from your own experiences at other casinos and start from scratch with my strategies. I don't recommend this approach. I want to add to what you know, not delete what you know. I don't want unless you think what you know isn't helping you at all. So I don't recommend that you just drop what you know, your experiences. I don't recommend this approach unless absolutely necessary. Or you can stick entirely to your own methods gained and refined at other casinos and hope they also work at this new casino. The operative word here is hope. Good luck. And the third one, look around for winning slots and players and learn from them. I recommend this approach even if it's not a new to you casino. Maybe you're traveling for business or visiting distant family. Perhaps you're on vacation or just passing through. Many of my fans are truck drivers, just crossing the country. So why you're at a new to you casino hardly matters, but nevertheless, you want to win at slots because you're a slots enthusiast. Hopefully you've done your pre-work in assessing the casino beforehand, as I go on about elsewhere, or that doesn't matter because you've got one choice of casino and you know what? You're going no matter what. Besides I was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan one time and I was like, well, no choices. No choices because they gave me free slots play. And my choice was to spend more, which they may have recognized what happened, did. Anyway, besides my 9 strategies to help you get started at a new to you casino, there's a shortcut you can use instead. That'd be useful, right? You're someplace new, might not be in the area, and you might not be in the area for more than a few days or maybe a whole lot less, and you don't have much time. So as a quick aside, ask yourself, do you do this a lot? Do you often visit new to you casinos? Because if you do, figure out how to get great at it. I have I have to, take it from me. It's possible. Continuing a bit longer on this aside, if your goal is to make a living at playing, slots? Because if it is, this skill is something you'll want to develop. But let's say you're new to slots or you're only ever lost. Those choices are pretty much the same thing because you need help winning. That's where my strategies come in. My strategies are exactly what you need to get started. Yes, to get started or restarted from scratch. I do this all the time when I visit a new to me casino, either to meet with a fan or just to provide a review. This year, I've mostly done this monthly so far, but plan to shortly try to make it a weekly occurrence. I've already done it enough to know which strategies are possible to check over, say, in a 3-hour visit before heading home. The first strategy I check is my 5-spin method. I find it's helpful to acclimate to the casino's environment. That's why I start with the 5-spin method, so I can sort of settle in. While I'm running the 5-spin test procedure and evaluating whether it exists at this new to me casino, I'm calibrating my ears and eyes. Is it busy? Is it loud? I have no idea because I haven't been to that casino before. Is it quiet because it'll be busy later, or is it busy now and be quiet later? I'm letting myself adjust. So I need to thank Valentin for their donation. It's a super sticker, and I'm not sure what that is. Rage quit. It's some emoticon that's playing in the live chat, but not on the screen that I'm showing you. Valentin, thank you so much for your donation. Very much appreciate your support of the show. Thank you. I did something bad. I looked at the live chat and there's some chat there. Look at me. I'm on TikTok now. Technically, am I a TikToker? Am I saying that right? I'm a TikToker. The direction life has led me. So I want to calibrate my eyes and ears to the casino, and that takes a little bit of time. So I do something else while I'm preparing. Is it and distractions from the live chat? But the sooner I know what normal sounds like or looks like, the sooner I'll spot when it stops being normal. That's how I prepare for using my strategy 8 later. After I do this, I choose from several possible next steps. After I do the 5-spin, and I'm letting my eyes and ears calibrate. After I have several possible steps depending on the results. If the 5-spin method both works and is profitable, remember it's only available at 1 in 4 casinos, I'll make a note of that for my casino review. But you might stop learning right there and just do that for the rest of your trip. After all, why do you need 2 ways to win at a casino? I need more about the casino for my casino review. So I'll stop, even if I'm winning, to cover other possible ways to win there. But not you, I think. But what if this 5-spin method doesn't work, or does work but isn't profitable? That's eventually what happens with this 5-spin method, although you could continue to work on it as I've talked about the ways you can tweak the procedure. But if it doesn't work, that's enough for my casino review for that section of it. If it does work but isn't profitable, people will want to know that in the review. Good to know. But at this point, my eyes and ears are still calibrating, seeking to understand what normal sounds like, so I can see and hear the difference if it changes. To encourage that, what do I do now? I walk the casino. Whether or not the 5-spin method works or not, is profitable or not, I will now move to the next step, which you may not if you are having success with the 5-spin method. I walk the casino. This is where practice helps. Once you've walked through a few casinos, you'll start seeing what I see. Maybe you already do. Where are the busy intersections, and how are slot machines arranged at those intersections? Where do people gather, and what slot machines are facing them so crowds can see any wins? Stand 15 feet in front of the high limit room entrance and look in. Then turn around and look onto the casino floor. That's usually the widest aisle in the casino, is the one leading up to the high limit room. I don't know if you've noticed that. This is the things you start to notice when you go to casino. It's a pattern of setup, and you start understanding some of the stuff that is working. So I so much want to respond to the chat comments, but so that's how you use my strategy 9: location, location, and location. Is you start finding these candidate winning slot machines. Jan knows what I mean. Chuck knows what I mean. Paula knows what I mean. All in the live chat. I've tried to talk about this. I'm going to see if I can't give people practice. But I encourage you to, if you go to a new casino, walk it. It may not be the first thing you do, but walk it and see how it's laid out. It varies. It varies. So only perhaps there might only be a dozen candidate slot machines out of possibly thousands. And by now, half my 3 hours are over. Let's say I had 3 hours to go into the casino. Sometimes if I drive, I want to get back the same day, and it's an hour or two away, right? So I give myself like 3 hours. That's been some of my experience. Sometimes, as I go to places that are further away, there's maybe 100 casinos within 100 miles of me, something like that. And I don't need to go to every little casino, but eventually I'm going to need to fly. And that means staying overnight. So that's one more thing I can try for my strategies. 2 of my strategies depend on coming in early the next morning. And is that 4 and 5? Yeah. And strategies 4 and 5 after big promotional nights, or after morning after a holiday. And though that's an additional one I could try, but if I'm just driving there, I'm not usually staying the night. So with half my time over, half my 3 hours over, that I spend the rest of that time playing those candidate slot machines that I found, those 6 little areas, perhaps in a fairly large casino, medium size, I'll say, something the size of Soaring Eagle, or rather, what is it, Ameristar in Lake Charles, Missouri. There's maybe 6 centers. I'm not talking about the largest casino in the world, WinStar. I need to fly out there and maybe even spend like 3 days and just see how that's structured. When I was at Foxwoods in 2018, they have like 7 casinos. They've added one after another, and it's all, you just walk in from the other. It's not like you go outside or anything like that. You don't even know you're in a new casino if it hadn't been assigned. And those, each one of those casinos would have areas that are set up for winning slot machines, and it's a lot to check. I expect WinStar to be like that, a real challenge, and 3 hours isn't gonna cut it. But most casinos, 3 hours is enough. If you figure out a way to win, of course, that's longer than 3 hours, because then you're just sitting there and you're playing. But the assessment, Jen says, I can't help it. I saw. I saw what you said, Jill, and I can't repeat it, and I think it will stay hidden. Not that it isn't funny. And that's how I use my strategy 9 to find those candidate machines, and then spend the rest of my time, my 3 hours, playing them. And that's how I learn how to win from scratch at a new to me casino. It takes practice to do this smoothly without missing anything, but that's how I do it with some success. The second approach is to use a new to you casino, and just do whatever you usually do at your favorite casino. I mean, I certainly did that when I learned so much from downtown Cincinnati's casino, and then I went over to the next casino 7 miles away, Belterra Park, and just did what I was doing at the first casino and just proceeded to lose. I mean, I could have won. I could have said, well, all casinos are like this. I was just getting started at going from casino to casino. But when you start going to more casinos, and I really do encourage this, because sometimes casinos that are your favorite change. If you're winning and money's coming in and you're trying to even make a living playing slots, you need a backup. You need a backup casino where maybe you don't make as much, but at least it'll still be there, and you can put more time into it. If your primary casino, which might be where you make your living at playing slots, tanks or changes ownership or burns down or whatever. So I do encourage you to at least understand what you might try at a nearby casino, and be ready for change. Change happens, right? Change is a constant. So this is an interesting decision to use what you already know. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But one thing is for sure, you'll be doing what you're already best at, most comfortable doing, even if that's somewhere else. A lot of people that I have been telling about the 5-spin method are like, this is great, I'm winning all the time, wonderful. And then I went on a trip and I went to another casino, and what just happened? I just thought it was going to be the same. And I'm like, remember that little part where I said it works at only 1 in 4 casinos, but it works at yours? Let's not forget that. So there's a risk that your approach, even if it's one of my strategies, that it may not work at a new to you casino. But I like this approach because you're taking what you know and applying it to an unfamiliar casino environment. From my point of view, my strategies are my approach. So the first section where I was saying use my strategies, for me, that's me doing what I do. And so maybe you have what you do. That's what we're talking about here. And you want to try it in a new casino. I think this is wonderful. There's no doubt you'll learn something useful, even if it's something you'll want to try upon your return to your home casino. This is how you learn, to see how things are done a little bit differently. Now, have you ever been to Europe? Have you ever been on vacation to Hawaii? Have you taken a cruise in Alaska? Have you gone on vacation and come home, having had a vacation? What did you learn? A different way to look at things. There's no doubt you'll learn something useful. But at your home casino, you're well practiced at knowing likely outcomes of your slots play. At a new to you casino, you'll feel better in several ways because you've been removed from the activities and environments that you associate with stress and anxiety in your home casino. Well, in August, I was winning great. In September, not so much. Stress and anxiety. You know what I mean, right? We experience this change whenever we vacation somewhere. We go someplace else to be ourselves and get benefits like improved mood and reduction of stress. It leads to a better outlook on life. more motivation to achieve goals, and feeling more present and stimulated. If you win at slots using your usual method, so much the better. But even if you don't, you'll go home with a fresh perspective on your usual methods. And that's how you re-energize your slots gambling performance at your home casino. So how are we doing? A third way to learn to win at a casino. So we've gone through just use my strategies. Two, which is just use your strategies, which for me is the same thing. And three is the third way to learn to win at a casino is to meet, chat with, and get to know other long-term slots enthusiasts. Whether it's a new to you casino or your favorite casino, winning slots players are wonderful resources. But the question is, are they winning? Be careful assuming they're accomplishing anything useful. I've met plenty of slots players that just have an expensive hobby. They come to me for paid consultations, not because it bothers them that they're spending a lot of money. They don't mind the cost, but rather because constantly losing leaves them unhappy. These slots players, these long-term slots players, are a resource. You should all try to learn from those that are doing well at slots because it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut from starting from scratch. That is only if they truly are winning rather than engaging in an expensive habit. Under these wonderful circumstances where others are available to learn from, my strategies and methods will help you identify why they win. They may not know why they win. They may have a general idea. They may be a fan too. They may be reading my content, watching my content, listening to my content, but they might not be. And they're just like, I'm winning. I'm not going to mess with it. And so if their casino gets sold, they don't know what's going to happen and other things that I'm trying to prepare you for. If you're going to a tribal casino, it's probably going to not be changed ownership ever. But if it's a commercial casino, how many times in the last downtown Cincinnati's casino opened in 2013, was bought in 2015 to Jack's, and then it's now a Hard Rock, which was 2018-ish. And so that's the last 8 years. It's been under 3 ownerships. This is what you can expect from commercial casinos, particularly the ones that are doing well, because those are the ones people want to buy. Right. So a lot going on in this live stream, but let's just wrap this up about other slots enthusiasts. What do you do? So if you see winning slots enthusiasts, likelihood is they don't know why they're winning. You should consider them a resource. You should think about what they're doing. You don't even have to talk to them, although you can try to talk to them, but they may mislead you because they don't know what they're doing. I'm lucky. I'm psychic. I have a little troll that I bring with me, and there's plenty of reasons why they think that they're winning. And if you can gain some confidence that they are winning and they're not losing, but pretending they're winning or thinking they're winning. Remember when if you ask somebody how they're doing at slots and they say I'm breaking even, they're not. If they say it's none of your business, then they're making a profit. It's just there's words and cues. If you're a people person, this works great for you. I'm not really a people person, so I just watch, and I don't stare. I don't stand behind them. I just watch. Become a fly on the wall and see if you can figure out whether or not they're winning, and then figure out how they're winning, and then improve on the results of others. My strategies will clue you in on what's going on, even when others don't know for themselves why they're winning. And you can perhaps improve on the results. Improve on the results? Certainly. Pardon me for being aggressive, but you can't be better than someone else by following them. Being better than others at slot machine gambling is the goal here, right? Figure out what they're doing first, but then improve upon it. That's where success is. I was in martial arts for like 5 years, and we had a famous professor. He didn't say he was famous. We only found out about it later when we were like, "So you're not going to be here this week?" "Yeah, I gotta go to the Sydney Olympics." Like, "What, sir?" And I'm a delegate. You're not the coach. No, I picked somebody for that, so I didn't have to do it. What? And so it was the 2000 Olympics. So I was working. I was in his class. I was working for him as a volunteer. It's a great office to work in. Anyway, I was in the class, and it was a white belt. Just like someone who didn't know anything. He called himself. This is Iowa. He called himself a chicken farmer because we were all wearing white, and we were always kind of like pointed in random directions. So I'm in the white belt class, and we're sitting there exhausted from 20 minutes of working out and taking our little break, and he's talking to us. And one of the things he says is, "You see these teaching assistants that I have here at the front of the room, volunteers. Do you see how good they are? Are they good? Are they good? Yeah. Oh, do you want to be as good as them? Raise your hand if you want to be as good as them." And we raised our hands. And one of them was behind him going like, no, don't do it. But we all raised our hand, and he says, "Okay, all of you raise your hands, push-ups. Let's see it. Let's count them out. 100 push-ups. Just push, push, push." And we're like, "What did we do wrong?" You don't want to be as good as them. You want to be better than them. You see slots enthusiasts in the casino who are winning. Learn what they're doing and improve upon it. You have resources. You have me and my content and the paid stuff as well, or just, that's efficient. It's not too much that's not available for free, but whether or not you can find it, it's organized. That's what you're paying for when you buy the stuff, the course and the book. But otherwise, you can just listen forever to all my podcasts and etc. So you have the capability of being better than these people that you'll see, these other long-term slots players that you'll see. You'll be able to evaluate whether or not they are indeed winning, and you'll be able to figure out when they don't know themselves why. So now you need to be aware of the next step. Once you improve on understand what they're doing, and then improve upon it, that's what success is. However, there's a consequence. Of course, improving your own slots play has an expected consequence. We become that wonderful resource for other players. So now you'll be approached, and they might bug you. "Hey, you're winning. How are you winning? What's going on?" Well, you can tell them. Other slots enthusiasts will see you winning long term and want to know how you do it. If this isn't for you, if you don't want to have anything to do with that, just go ahead and mention me, and I'll take that bothersome burden off your plate. Thanks to those of you already signed up for my 30 days to play slots smarter and win online course available at courses.professorslots.com. As one participant said when reviewing the course, I would highly recommend, quote, "I would highly recommend to any slots enthusiast Professor Slots course. He is very knowledgeable and experienced at playing slots. It really works if you apply it. So happy I found him and his expertise. Thank you, Professor Slots, for sharing your knowledge," end quote. And you're quite welcome. I'm so glad I could help. Along with the course, you'll get lifetime access to every future version of it as I improve and add some changes as slots change, at no additional cost. Plus, you'll get a few other valuable bonuses. You can see courses at courses.professorslots.com, which is what it looks like here. If you go to courses.professorslots.com and you click on the one course I'm offering now, you'll see the page where it has what you'll learn, the course curriculum. These are expandable, so you can see what each of the days is being teaching you. The topic, anyway, that's about me. The cost is $97, which is currently discounted 50%. That's $100 off. And you also receive a PDF version of my book, a 232-page PDF, and gambling records templates for 2021. For those of you who are taking the course when 2022 gets a little closer, some people still aren't using gambling records for this year, but when 2022 gets here, I'll update that for you. Or you can buy them separately. And then the community support, where you get 1 month free access to help and support and further resources to that. And that's, if you want to buy that without taking the course, then you can go to community.professorslots.com and you can choose the one plan that's available there. If you are taking the course, don't use community.professorslots.com. Rather, at the end of the introduction, and I'll show you in the syllabus here, there's a video called Work Through This Course With Me, and under that video is the link you'll want to use to get the 1 month free. Okay. Right, so I think that covers much I wanted to say. There's been a lot going on in the live chat. I understand we had a bit of a fuzziness. As much as I've recently improved my bandwidth to the best available, the YouTuber version of my internet service, it does still, on humid days, does still have a problem for some reason. But that's why I try to stay away from highly detailed graphs where you might need to be able to read it. Partly I do that anyway because a lot of people are on their phones and they're small and it's hard to read small text. Now my father, when he watches this, and I don't know, he doesn't have a YouTube account, so he can't comment, but he will watch it on his big screen TV. So some people are watching it under very different circumstances. So we had a little bit of a drop. If it wasn't you, if it was me, then it got a little blurry, but it usually doesn't affect the voice. So we're all good there. Okay. Let's see. I think I caught up to here. Right. So we have someone who says, let's see, David, I notice when I play on slots, it tends to be on the first $30 in. Unfortunately, casinos, and we talked about this, actually it was last time, the time before that was about return statistics, right? Right. But my 5-spin method takes advantage of winning early. I call it a taste. Nobody else calls it a taste, except now they're starting to, because I call it a taste. And I say, let's become collectors of tastes. And that's really short explanation of what the strategy is all about, although the step-by-steps that I provide kind of clarifies that. I saw a slots enthusiast winning using that. And I refined it and wrote it down and have been explaining it ever since. I did not invent it. I even saw it in an old Columbus episode. Columbo, not Columbus. That would be old. In a Columbo episode, the one where he goes on a cruise and solves a murder. It's just a brief couple of seconds, but I thought it was awesome. And so David goes on and says, if after $50 into a machine, no decent win, I move on. Yeah. I factor that in, build that in. Jan, same thing. And that's what I saw because I stayed and played. And I'm like, well, I got that hand pay. Was it the first bet? No, there was a second bet. and then I played for hours because I was winning at the other casino. And I spent a lot of money that way at the second casino. And I just had to kind of like go, okay, I have to come up with something different for a different casino. I thought it was all kind of like every casino was the same, but it wasn't. And I started learning that, a hard lesson, but I'm slow, but I learn. And luckily, that ended up giving me a couple hundred entries to this 3-month-long car giveaway that they were doing, where the end of the first month was some jewelry, the end of the second month was a cruise, and the end of the third month was a car. And so I was collecting entries for most of that time, and I was spending a fair amount of money that I was winning at the other casino, and ended up with I want to say it was 276 entries into the car. Won the car. So, even though I spent a lot of money learning this strategy, I got compensated for it. So don't worry too much about that. Jan, Texas Tootsie, whose name is Jan, says, I love WinStar. She's in Texas, and as you can probably tell. I guess Jill's responding to something I had said about traveling, and sometimes I do, she does, has to get our butts in the car. Get your cash in the car, get your cash to the, oh, yes, she's talking about not getting to the casino, getting out of the casino. I have tried to joke about wearing track shoes and running, but don't hurt yourself. I've had prior live streams where the thumbnail, as they call it, said, run, run, Forrest, run. And that's becomes a way to leave the casino. There are others having to do with, there's a couple of gamble boxes. Gamble box, let me point to it. There's a pink gamble box right there. And then there's, actually that's the Winners Bank 2000. And this is the gamble box. But if you only put hundreds in it, you can get 13 bills. So $1,300. I think I got that right. No, I think so. Yeah. Or is it 13,000? It's either, it might be 100 bills. So if you put $1 in it, it only holds like $100, $130. But if you put hundreds in, it can hold quite a lot. I think it's 13 bills. Anyway, I need to actually produce a video and kind of like fold things and stuff them in there and talk about jamming and other things. But instead of running out of the casino, you can try to do that. Use that device, but it only holds so much, and you might win more than will fit in one of those. Or one of the other suggestions I've had for people is to pay federal taxes when you don't have to. If you may not have gambling deductions because you use a standardized deduction, but you're just one big jackpot away from suddenly being allowed to do deductions because of that income. But if you already do can do deductions, then you can use the federal government as a savings account. I think there's a limit how much you can have. You can have federal taxes removed from your jackpot, so you never even get the cash at the time of the win. But then you have to worry about consequences of, overpaying, and there might be a fee for that. But then if you know you're going to spend it, if they actually put it in your hand, this is one way to use the federal government as a savings account. Okay. Next comments here. Discus 44 is here. Hi, Prof. Hope to get winning next time out. I hope so too. Did Soaring Eagle, Mike says, did Soaring Eagle give out taste? They did, but it was very much if you just follow the procedure and just play any slot machine with up to 5 bets, move on if you win anything at all. I didn't break even. I was under, but Paula chose to play end of roll slot machines only when she tried it, and she made a profit. So yes, they have it, but it's one of those things like, yes, they have it, but is it profitable? So make sure you use the trick we have of improving your return by end of row or machines that are on an intersection, that sort of thing. Mike. And Juicy, I also noticed that others play, they hit on the first 5. Yeah. People are looking for explanations of why this is happening. That's why I'm popular. I'm not the most charismatic, convincing, persuasive individual. There are so many people out there who have never heard of me who are just like, how do I win at slots? And they only find me. and I have a course, and this is all why I'm doing all this. I am able to do this to be successful at this, because people are looking and they see stuff and they're like, does anybody know what I'm seeing? I've had people call me, and do the paid consultation, and like, am I crazy? Then I'm like, no, I see it too. This is what my thoughts in the last few years on how to make the most of it. And they're like, oh, anyway, let's see, Magpie 11, on certain machines I play to a bonus like Lightning Link and then move on, but I set a limit on how much I invest to get that bonus. This is all very important ways of playing. Too many people, and the casino encourages this, are just like fully emotional and just riding the high. And I was very excited the first time I got a hand pay, and the 5th and the 15th. But by the time I got to be about 90 of them, then it was only the really big ones. Slot attendants are saying, you don't look like you're really excited. I'm excited on the inside. So you have to get used to winning, particularly when you learn how to win from me. It's the next step. See how I draw you in? And I answered that question for Mike. So you asked it twice, but that's okay. I understand. What limit do I use? Questions amongst everybody. Let's see. Questions. I recently put $100 in a slot that had 2 bet amounts, $10 and $20. I played 3 $20 spins. Then my 4th spin, I did $10 and hit $3,000. If I had done 20, that would have jackpot. No, of course not. The time it took for you to change your denomination meant that you would not have pressed the button at the same time as you needed to hit the random number generator at that time. It used to be that the random number generator was putting out numbers as needed, but people figured out how to cheat with that. And so now it just runs all the time. And so you're picking out every 1,000 at the speed the computer runs at, gigahertz. And so, you go through 1 million or more numbers on the random number generator and between, your betting. And so that's how they broke that way to cheat. And so, no, you would not have. But there is something too. I'm interested in learning about changing your bet amount and whether you're actually encouraging it to help you win or help you lose. There's a statistical reason why that might be the case, but I'm still kind of looking into whether it's a good idea, because it could be like half the time you win more, but half the time you lose more, in which case it's just, I've had several of these approaches that I use when I go learn at a casino, which ends up being like, no, that's how you lose. Or it's kind of like, no, I don't see any advantage. Yes, I learned something, but I don't see an advantage. And so that's one I'm kind of working on to see if there's a way to run a test procedure or certain approach that would allow you to win by changing the bet amount. By denomination, it's well known that quality tests performed on slot machines where you change the amount you bet by changing the number of credits you bet is going to give you the same odds. But if you change the denomination, well, that's different. You get different odds. So it's all kind of, can I make it so it's easy enough to understand, doesn't require a calculator. People could go in and use it when they're drunk. Just make it simple. And I'm still working on that one. There might be something to it. Okay, I am way over, 4 minutes over. I'm going to have to end. I'm so sorry that I didn't get to everybody's questions, but thank you so much for your time today. I wish you the very best. Thanks for a great show. If you watch this video later, you'll see a video that I created for you. That should be right here. And as we end, and if you're listening on the podcast, stick around and we'll be moving into the next segment of the show. As always, have fun, be safe. Make good choices. Bye.